the last video, we got a quick introduction to Node.js. And now it's time to take the next step, installing it on our system. So all you have to do is open your browser and go to the Google search box, and you need to type the link nodejs.org. So when you enter, you will be able to see the interface that provides the download link. So basically this link is the long-term support, that is the recommended one. You need to click on this button, and after it has started installing, you will be able to have your setup. You need to open this setup and you need to click on next and accept the license agreement. Click on next, and by default it will be stored inside the program files of your C drive. If you want to change, you can, but this one is recommended. Then you click on next and next and just next. Now you're ready to install. It will take some time to install this environment. Once Node.js has been installed, you have to open your command prompt and you need to verify whether it is installed or not. You need to write down node-v, or you can also type --version in order to get the version. So if you are able to get the version of Node.js, so for the long-term support it's 22.15.0. If you're able to get this, it means that your environment has been installed. Let me now show you one interesting thing. Let's say you're typing here node, and you have been now taken to the Node.js repo. Read, eval, print, loop. We'll talk about this, but for now, let me give you one example. Let's say if I write 2 plus 2, you're going to get 4. For example, you write where b equals to, let's say 23, and you want to print console.log. Let's say you want to print b. So you got the answer, 23. Now what exactly is this? Let's take a look. So this is called as REPL, that is read, eval, print loop, which is an interactive programming environment that lets you type the command, see the result immediately, and if you want to repeat, you can do it as needed. So let's break it down. When we talk about read, it will read the input from the user, parse it into the JavaScript data structure, then stores into the memory. And then later that parsed JavaScript data structure is evaluated for the results. Then that result is printed after the evaluation. And then later, if you want to use it again, you can start a loop. So it means that it will just simply, once you get the result, you are again ready to use the repo. So it will simply loop the input command. If you want to come out of this Node.js REPL, you can simply press Ctrl+C twice. You must be remembering about the console of your browser. If I press Ctrl+Shift+I, you're able to see the console. Now if I specify anything here, let's say where a equals to 45, and I'm just typing console.log, I want to print the value of a. So don't you think there is some kind of relation between the two? So by the way, if I try to relate the console of the browser with the REPL, both of them are used for running the code. Only thing is that browser console runs inside the browser. REPL runs it in your system, that is the Node.js runtime. And if we talk about the typical use, the browser console is used for debugging front-end web applications, while the REPL will be utilized for testing the backend logic or maybe the Node.js modules. So let's not talk much about it, but yeah, let's take a look at that how we can further explore the REPL. There are few important commands that should be on your tips while working with REPL. So the first one is, if you want to terminate your current command, then you can press Ctrl C. Second is, if you want to terminate or you want to exit the node REPL, then you can press Ctrl C twice. You also have another command to terminate the node REPL, that is Ctrl D. Another one is, if you want to clear the node REPL but you want to stay inside the REPL, then you can use Ctrl L. The up and down keys will be utilized to see the command history and modify previous commands. Then you got the tab keys in order to specify the list of current command. .help will specify the list of all the commands. .break is used to exit from multi-line expressions. You also have .clear, which will also help you to exit from multi-line expression. Then next is .save file name. So whatsoever the expressions you have written or whatsoever the calculations you did in the node REPL, you will be able to save it in a file. So for that, you will have to write down the command .save and then the name of the file. This will save all the current node REPL session to a file. So that file would be a text file or maybe a file of any other format. Then after this, you have another command. Let's say if you want to load the contents of the previous node REPL session, then you can use .load, then the name of the file. So let's try to utilize all these commands. So let's test all these commands. Now we are already inside the REPL. You want to exit, you can press Ctrl C twice. This is the first time and this is now for the second time. Now let's also try Ctrl D. So we need to enter it once again, enter the REPL again. And now you want to come outside, you can press Ctrl D. You don't have to press it twice. Alright, now apart from this, let's say you have already performed some kind of calculation and now you are done with this. You want to clear your node REPL, but you don't want to exit. You just want to clear it. So for this, you need to press Ctrl and L. So your REPL is now cleared. The up and down keys will be utilized in order to have the previous commands. So you can use up, down keys so that you don't have to write all the commands again. Further, you also have got the tab key. So there you have all the commands. And also, apart from this, let's say if you are pressing .help, you will get all these commands: break, clear, editor, exit, help, load, save. And yeah, so now we are ready to perform the multi-line expressions. Just imagine you have got multiple expressions to work upon. Let's say, for instance, you want to use the for loop or maybe if statement. You just want to check condition that if, let's say 5 is greater than 4. Now, after this, you need to start your block. Once you have started your block, you will be able to see the 3 dots indicating that this is a multi-line expression. Now you can simply print a statement, let's say greater. And now after this, it's again three dots. It means that you are once again inside the multi-line expression. It won't go away unless you mention the curly brace. Means you have to close your bra. Now you hit enter, it will print greater. Also imagine that you are inside the multi-line expression, but now you don't want to continue with this multi-line expression. So all you can do is you can press Ctrl C, and now you are out of the multi-line expression without exiting the REPL. Ctrl C is not the only command in order to exit the multi-line expression. You also have another command, dot break. Now you are out again. But we also have another command, and that is dot clear. So you can say that in total we got almost 3 commands in order to exit from the multi-line expression. Now, by the way, we are done with our whatsoever the calculation or expression you wanted to perform. Now we are ready to save our session. You want to save this current REPL session. So for this, you will have to write on the command dot save and then mention the name of the file, and it will be, let's say, my session. So you better have a txt file, a notepad file, .txt. So session has been saved to my session.txt. Let's now do one thing. We can exit the current session. So we are going to open this my session.txt in another session. So for now, I'm going to exit by pressing Ctrl C twice. Let's enter the REPL once again. And now you have to load using the load and then the name of your file. And that is my session. If I simply write my session, it will say failed to load because you have saved your file as a .txt extension. So you will have to put .txt. And now you will be able to see that all your session has been loaded. But REPL is not all. It's great for quick testing, debugging, and exploring JavaScript or your Node.js code. It's not suitable for full application development. So now we are on to the next level. Let's talk about the full-scale development, and that is we are going to create a new project and we are going to learn various concepts of Node.js inside that. But before that, we need to talk about NPM, that is Node.js Package Manager or Node Package Manager. The Node Package Manager or NPM is a command line tool that installs, updates, or uninstall the Node.js packages in your application. So how does it work, like exactly what it is? So you can say that it's a kind of shop. In other words, it's an online repository for all the open source Node.js packages. So while we are developing our project, we might need to install certain third-party modules. Certain modules might be already there in the Node.js. When we install Node.js, we already get certain modules which come inside Node.js. And by the way, Node.js Package Manager also comes along with Node.js when you install Node.js. So there might be a need that you want to install certain modules or packages which are third party that don't come along with Node.js. For example, Express. So we are going to talk about Express when it's the right time, by the way. So we need to use NPM for the installation of third party modules. So the Node community around the world, they create useful modules and publish them as packages in this repository. So as already explained that it is included with the Node.js installation. And we generally use the following command in order to install any third-party module. So we write npm install, or you can simply write npm I. We will be talking about it very soon when it's the right time. So for now, we are going to create our project using the npm. Now all you have to do is create a folder inside any of your drives and open the same in your VS Code. So I have already opened the folder named Node.js, which is already empty. So we are ready to now initialize our project. When I say initialize, it means we are going to start a new project by setting up with the basic file and structure. We need some basic files and we need certain details that need to be there within that project, because I might need to share this project with my teammate, and so my teammate will be better able to know about what are the certain dependencies or the information regarding this project. So mention, you need to type the command npm init. This npm init command is going to initialize your project. When you hit enter, so be ready, it will start asking you about certain details. So you don't have to worry. You can just simply keep it empty for your convenience, or if you want to mention something, you can. Since it's the beginning, you can simply keep pressing enter, just not to mention anything. Let's say if you want to mention the description, this is my first project, something like this. This is my first project, right? And entry point, let it be index.js. Nothing, you don't have to specify anything. Keywords, if any. Author, let's say if I'm going to specify my name only, you can specify your name. So this is what it is going to create. It's a JSON format. All this information regarding your project, the basic information regarding this project, will be created inside a file. Now it's saying, is it okay? Then you can press yes. And yes, so can you see that a file has been created? Package.json file has been created. Now this will contain all the information regarding your project. It's very important that whenever you're going to start with a new Node.js project, you must always use npm init. So in this video, we skipped all this part, but when we are into real development, you need to mention all this information. And just in case, if you as a beginner, you don't really want to have all these questions that you need to, whose answers you need to mention in the terminal, you can also use, there's another command, npm init -y. So this will skip all the information that you're supposed to give, and simply it's going to create the package.json file that contains the information regarding your project with the default values. Now the real question is that, do you really need to initialize your project? Do you really need to have this package.json? Do you really have to utilize npm init command? The answer depends what is your requirement. If you simply want to test the standalone Node.js scripts, in that case you don't require this. But if you are really working on a real world project, you are developing a real world project, you need this. So by the way, we have already created this at the start because we will be needing this further in the lecture, because we might have to install any third-party module using the npm, and the information of that third-party module will be stored inside the package.json. So we require those dependencies so that when we are working as a team, the dependencies should be there, and our teammates should know that what are the modules which are required in order to run this project. You can say that it just standardizes your project because package.json shows the version info, the entry point, and there are certain other things that would come here once you install the third party package. It helps to keep everyone on the same setup, especially when you are working in a team. And it's also very useful for version control and deployment. For example, if you push your code to GitHub or deploy to any service like, let's say, Heroku or Vercel, the package.json will tell the system what to install and how to run the application. So when you are into development, just consider your project like registering a new application with its own name, setup, toolbox before you start building it. So I hope that the basics of the Node.js environment, like how to install and what is REPL, what is the purpose of REPL, and how to initialize our project, we are going to continue in the next video. Till that time, stay tuned.